I love Garbage Pail Kids. I just thought these were great. They're just funny. 15 different series, but they came out all between 85 and 88. They've made a comeback since then. Boy, they were quite a part of my childhood, influenced my sense of humor probably more than they should have. Also, I made a lot of friends when I was growing up because we would trade these, because you'd buy your pack of cards and you couldn't go on the internet and, buy the rest of them on eBay or anything. You had to find somebody else. I'm going to show you all of these, and we're going to talk a little bit about the crazy history behind these cards. This is Art Spiegelman. He was kind of the brain behind the Garbage Pail Kids, and he had been in charge of several gross out products, and so he had become known as the gross out guy at Topps. He had made garbage candy. You would purchase this little trash can and you'd eat garbage. What a rebellious thing to do as a child. The shapes included a fish bone, a dog bone, or somebody's femur. I don't know whether it's human remains or not, but it looked like a dog bone. You had like a bottle in there and an old shoe. Now, Art Spiegelman had created wacky packages. These were parodies of existing products. They often had gross out gags. Came up with this idea in 1967, became a huge hit in the 70s. From 1973 to 1977, they had their big run of 16 series, and it was everywhere. I thought these were the funniest thing in the world. Now, originally, the Garbage Pail Kid was just going to be one sticker in the Wacky Packages set. It was a sticker parodying the very popular Cabbage Patch Kids in their package with a gag that this instead was a Garbage Pail Kid. Now, if we turn things around, I actually am always looking at this Garbage Pail Kids poster. I was such a dork, I would save all the wrappers. I'm so glad I was. Look at this. On the back of the 10th series, we're alive and grosser than ever. The movie was kind of the end of the original popularity of the cards, and I don't know if it's the fact that the movie was so bad that really killed the cards, or if they had lived their natural life and this was the winding down period anyway, and then an atrocious movie came out. This was the flashback series. Garbage Pail Kids went away for a little while, and then they came back big time. Potty Scotty, and I've owned this since I wasn't much older than Potty Scotty. This is my Garbage Pail Kids collection. I have it in the same box it's been in since I first started collecting them. I put little dividers in between each series, and I put them all in order. Garbage Pail Kids are actually banned in Mexico because they passed the law in 1988 that you can't depict minors, which these obviously are kids, in ways that are degrading and violent and revolting, and all the different categories. They tend to violate every single one of them. Now, they do appear in lots of other countries. In Japan, they are not called Garbage Pail Kids. They're called Mr. Creepy. In Italy, they're called Scorpions, which means little snotlings. And I like Sylvester Stallone. In Germany, they're Die Total Kaputten Kids, which means the totally broken children. Look at that. There's Fat Matt on the Garbage Pail Kid Chewy Candy. This is a pin. It just says ouch, though, at the bottom. But then on this little thing, it's Damaged Don. And then another one. And then this is clever. Total different characters on the other side. I don't know what these are for. They look like they would be from a board game, but I know that's not it. I don't remember. I think maybe I just bought these by themselves and you would put this like maybe on your desk. Mad Magazine did a thing of Garbage Pail Adults, and I thought these were very funny. So I actually bought a second copy of the magazine and cut them out and put them with my Garbage Pail Kids. And then somebody wrote into the letters page and they said, hey, why didn't you have this? Which we already had a Ronald Reagan Garbage Pail Kid. Rappin' Ron and Ray Gun. They had the checklist on the back. Somebody drew Radioactive Ron, and I was like, well, I need to save that too. And I can't just keep it with my Mad magazines. I won't remember. I can't cross-reference. I got to make a copy and put it in here in my Vans shoebox. Cracked Magazine did a parody as well. Got Lionel Itchy, Simpy Looper instead of Cyndi Lauper, Belly Idol, Yoko Oh No, Tweedledum and Tweedledee Snyder. And of course, who can forget Stink? Here's the one that came inside the little trash bag, if I remember correctly. This is Boney Joni. I have these other stickers, and you would get these by putting in a quarter and turning the crank on one of those gumball machines on your way out of the grocery store. These are the little ones. These are trash can tots. Spotty Scotty. You can see he's got a bunch of spots on him. There's a Snotty Dotty. And then Juicy Lucy, because she likes juice. How does the juice come out? How does it do that? These ones were the bigger ones, so they were folded up. Molar Mort of the Trash Brats. Baron von Sharon. And then Insane Elaine. These say 1986. This was the giant series. Like, look at that. Nice big artwork. Why fight it? Collect Garbage Pail Kids. Now, as a collector, boy, was I disappointed that this was cut so incorrectly. I like this one. It's a postcard. Look at that. I could mail this to somebody, I think. I think if I cover this up, I think I can put this out. I send postcards out every month to the people on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. Thanks to Michael and Jessica, to Cheese God. They're on the top tier where I have to say your name out loud. So if you want to hear your name, go over there. You can sign up. Here's an article I clipped from the newspaper in 1987. CBS had tried to do the Garbage Pail Kids TV series. This became a piece of lost media for us as kids that we had all heard about. And as we got older, we were like, hi, you know what? I bet South Park, that's exactly what that Garbage Pail Kids show was. Turns out the Garbage Pail Kids show was just an okay adaptation of the Garbage Pail Kids. It was certainly better than the adaptation that they sent to major motion picture theaters. On the back of this, I have a Peanuts, a Blondie, and then a Beetle Bailey. Look at this, a sideways Beetle Bailey. And you see they're all parachuting down, and Sarge says, typical, can't you ever finish anything, Beetle? This is from earlier that same year. Garbage Pail Kids to get facelifts. The makers of Garbage Pail Kids have agreed to settle a $30 million lawsuit by giving facelifts to Dead Fred, Acne Amy, and all their other raunchy bubblegum card pals. It says here, the group Parents Against Sadistic Toys persuaded Toys R Us in Oregon and Washington to remove Garbage Pail Kids from their stores. These were a big controversy. Like, you couldn't bring your Garbage Pail Kids into a lot of schools. I don't remember my school ever getting all up in arms over them. I think it's good they didn't, because if you tell kids they can't have Bushy Bernice, all they want is Bushy Bernice. Busted. Hooked. Now, the results of this lawsuit was that they had to change some things. One of them was, this was a parody of the style of the Cabbage Patch Kids logo. And so they switched it for one where it was, straight across, looked a little different. And they also went to faces that didn't exactly look like Cabbage Patch Kids anymore. And as a kid, though, I barely noticed the difference. Like the parody, we were still thinking they were Garbage Pail Kids, which were a parody of Cabbage Patch Kids. But I think you saw less of like the yarn hair and a lot of the very specific features from the Cabbage Patch Kid dolls. Here's a more recent Garbage Pail Kids controversy. This was released in 2021, and it showed the members of BTS as a whack-a-mole game where you hit them with a Grammy. Now, people felt that this was inappropriate, shouldn't be making fun of BTS in this way, and so Garbage Pail Kids apologized and Topps pulled this card. At the tail end of the Garbage Pail Kids craze, Topps wanted something new, so they decided to do a parody of the current popular doll. And that's how we got Trash Can Trolls. These are very similar to Garbage Pail Kids. Every one of them looks like it could be a single Garbage Pail Kid card. They even had a parody of Atom Bomb, who's a parody of Garbage. It's a parody of a parody of a parody, and I've lost track. Now, it's interesting. Garbage Pail Kids had competition at Topps in 1985. Now, these Gross Bears were on buttons and stickers. They were a parody of the very popular Care Bears, but they never took off like the Garbage Pail Kids. Still, I think they're pretty great. Look at Barf Bear and Zip Bear. Oh man, it was a fun era. I remember my friends coming over, bringing their shoebox full of Garbage Pail Kids. We'd lay them all out. We'd look at each other's. We'd compare notes. We'd trade. We'd have copies of the checklist that we hand wrote and check them off because we didn't want to mark up our cards. We'd sit there stuffing our face with chocodiles and downing cans of Dr. Pepper. Or at my house, it would have been Dr. Thunder, the Walmart brand. My parents never wanted to spend for the for the legit Dr. Pepper. There were so many Dr. Pepper parodies. That's the parody that I love. If you want to see a video about that, I'm going to put that right up here. Otherwise, YouTube says this is what is best for you. And if you need more, I got a second channel, and I'll see you next time.